Hey guys, per usual, everything on this channel is for educational purposes only and is not intended as financial advice. So let's take a look at some FX stuff. Haven't looked at that in a while. There are a lot of charts with patterns that have completed in the past week, so worth paying attention to those. Crypto doesn't happen in a vacuum, so it's good to have a somewhat coherent picture of non-crypto things. And as usual, all of the links will be in the description below. So this is Dixie, DXY, the dollar index, and it was on a massive tear with a week over week rising trend that appears to have finally concluded bearishly, which was expected. Anything that's rising, any rising channel should break down, any falling channel should break up. Whether or not we'll see continuation, I don't know. I'm really looking at this because theoretically, dollar weakness should be crypto strength, but that hasn't necessarily been the case, certainly in the past. These are just presidential elections I put on here for fun. No real correlation with anything. And the RSI broke 50 on the weekly for the first time in quite a while. So that's, to me, that's a sign that this has a ways to go down. Another thing we're seeing, this is Euro USD, a falling wedge, almost a we'll say 1.5 year falling wedge. I mean, with FX, these patterns take a while. With silver, so I'm looking at silver on the monthly, for instance, in a second. But anyway, this is a falling wedge. You can see it had like this head and shoulders thing, kind of morphed into this falling wedge. Again, falling patterns break up, rising patterns break down. And RSI has been on a bull div for a year, probably. Again, another example, when you're looking at, this is a bear div, this should reverse here. Not exactly. This stuff can go on and on and on. These divs can last and last and last. Anyway, so expectations $1.25, basically the previous high. USD CNY, interesting because they're weakening, they being Chinese PBOC or whoever, are weakening the yuan as the dollar's weakening. So it's going to be interesting to see which gets weaker first or quicker. There's also a massive cup and handle here. Historically, ever since 2008, it hasn't really been above 7. So if they weaken it further, which they may for trade war reasons, I don't know. I think that'll be bullish for crypto. We'll see more potential for Chinese capital flight. Whether or not that's actually happening, I don't know. Gold has been super interesting these past few weeks as well. Another falling wedge breakout, massive breakout for gold in the past couple weeks. Also completing a cup and handle, also completing a bullish 5200 cross on the weekly. So gold being bullish isn't necessarily bullish for crypto, as it tends to signal risk off environment, but this may just be a technical thing. I don't know. I don't really follow gold too much in the macro lens, but the chart looks really good for up, certainly, as the cup and handle falling wedge situation is completing. Silver is silver. I like it as a long-term play, like a 4-year play. Buy some silver, physical silver or something. I don't know. Not investment advice, but if I was DCAing silver, I would do it down here, physical silver, because this looks like the crypto Bitcoin chart did on the weekly in like September 2015 or something. So there's a potential for a bullish TK cross with an edge to edge to 30. So again, multi-year situation here, but certainly possible based on technicals. I know nothing about fundamentals of silver. Gold looks like it has a dragonfly doji bullish reversal candle on the weekly. Overall, it's bearish, meandering nonsense. Could be an ABCD down to like 38 or something. I don't know. But there's no real pattern here or trend. There's an emerging bearish trend, sure, but nothing that helps me figure out if crypto's going to do anything. Not that it would anyway. Nikkei pumping like mad since 2013. This is the monthly. No signs of stopping. Overall, it looks fine. There was a bear div up here, just like there was in most of the world indices, but the SPX, which I'll show in a second as well, just absolutely pumping. Here's Nasdaq since 2012, just bull trend on the Tenkin, just riding that Tenkin on the monthly since 2012. Again, bear div pulled back, whatever. and it doesn't look like it's stopping anytime soon-ish. The trend is certainly not at risk anytime soon, based on cloud. And lastly, SPX. Sorry, this is DJI. The DJI had a chance for an edge-to-edge, didn't complete it. Anytime we have a bearish pattern that reverses, that just tells me it's super bullish. It's got this macro IHS inverted head and shoulders thing potentially, but overall, not too exciting. I doubt this is going to triple top and then stall. Maybe the plunge protection team has fixed everything there. So that's kind of macro what I'm looking at. I think the most interesting thing is the dollar weakness and the yuan weakness. As far as the crypto effects, we'll see what happens. But that's good for crypto if fiat currencies are weakening. Looking at the market caps, nothing really pops out to me. Nothing stands out. See, LTC overtook Bitcoin Cash, Bcash, it overtook Bcash, Bcash. Yeah, other than that, there's no real insanity here happening. I did some articles on Bitcoin, ETH, and EOS. Check those out. Bitcoin and ETH look really good on the fundamentals. ETH looks amazingly well on the fundamentals, more than it has in months, which gives me a bullish lens for ETH. EOS looks a lot weaker than it has, and to find out that these numbers are bots for certain rather than suspected bots is interesting. So they're definitely bots. At least 75% of those numbers are bots. All right, let's look at technicals. Across the board, overall, I want everything to come back to the 200. I always do after a 5200 cross. Not necessarily going to get that, but you can see a lot of correlation on some of this stuff. So BTC, LTC, and XMR, very similar. EOS, very similar. ETH was lagging. You can see where the pullback targets would be the Kijun and the 200 for all of these. I'm not going to say it out loud, but that's what you're looking for. XLM, clear laggard here. It's got an inverted head and shoulders thing that hasn't broken up yet. 5200 cross, still to happen yet. And BNB kind of on its own warpath to infinity. But overall, everything looks really good. I think XRP looks the best as I choke down the vomit in my mouth. As far as a technical breakout soon, it's just kind of chilling, consolidating above the cloud with a fresh baby 5200 cross. So this would be, I think, the thing to outperform technically in the next couple weeks, but overall, we'd be better served if everything would sort of pull back to its 200. You can see that some of these is just not going to happen. For XLM, where's that going to go? It's going to go lower, but who knows how much lower. BTC pairs, again, some correlations here. Some of the stuff looks oddly similar, like XRP and XLM. Very deep V with a U, so a nice Adam Eve there on both of those. Late to the party Eve still forming for XLM. But both of these are signaling reversal. XRP and EOS, super messy, non-trending, anything sideways, turtle soup, random walk, nothing I want to trade right here at all. Potentially diamond bottom, but nothing I want to touch anytime soon. BNB BTC actually looks like a diamond top. I didn't draw it in there, but looks like it is. It's certainly on the top side of the cloud, so it's got a chance to keep going. This is all-time high, by the way, for BNB BTC. So it's consolidating near all-time high. I don't know. I mean, I don't trade it really, so that is what it is, but interesting nonetheless. LTC looks the best out of everything. You can see it's gotten its bullish Kumo breakout here rather soon from breaking down. So it broke down, said, no way, Jose, reversed, and just it's been on a tear these past couple days. And XMR probably looks the most bearish. It doesn't have a super clean Adam Eve or anything really. So, as far as reversal potential, XRP again looks the best. LTC looks the best from a trend perspective. And BNB's got a decision time pretty soon based on continuing to price discovery mode or reversal there. Another thing I look at is Tether. If Tether's above 1, it's bullish, plain and simple. That just says a lot of people are using Tether to buy other stuff. Could be Bitcoin, could be alts. It's mainly alts. Let's be real here. But if Tether's above $1, it's bullish for crypto, period. If it's below $1, There's usually other reasons, but in general, if it's kind of just sitting below $1, that isn't too bullish. You can see on April 1st when Bitcoin broke out, so did Tether above $1. And if we're chilling above $1, I am fully in bull mode there. Another thing I like to see is if Bitfinex, if there's no premium on Bitfinex, if there's a negative premium, which is going to bug people, but if Coinbase is above Bitfinex, that's bullish. That tells me cash money, baby, is buying real money. None of that fake Tether crap. You can see on April 1st, it finally broke that multi-month kind of level. Now there's all sorts of stuff with Bitfinex that could be affecting this, mainly wires and withdrawals and blah, blah, blah. But in general, if Bitfinex is lagging Coinbase, that to me is bullish. As in the last video, I was looking for pullbacks around CME time. We got a couple. That's good. Again, still not as deep as I think we need to go. Doesn't mean we'll get there, but hey, that is what it is. I'm going to show the 4 hour in a few seconds just to show how I'm going to trade this going forward. But no surprise that we got pullback a few days before the CME close and a pretty violent pullback kind of at the open, I think that was on that Monday. But overall, there's not too much going forward until the end of this month. And even then, there probably aren't too many contracts, too much open interest on that contract that I'm aware of, but there might be. Yeah, so CME is not going to disrupt anything here for the next 20 days at least. Everybody's watching this 4 hour falling, rising wedge. Sorry, again, rising patterns break down, falling patterns break up. The target was around 6,800, basically the beginning of the formation, and we haven't hit there yet. Obviously, on a line chart, it certainly looks like a little mini rising channel. That certainly looks more bearish than it does on the candlesticks. So if we rewind the tape a little bit, we had a Binance hack, stamp flash crash. Both of those didn't matter. Price kept going. I'm on the 4 hour cloud mainly because it was right the whole time. Whether or not you traded it or I traded it like that is another story, but it gave you the entry, it gave you the exit. It gave you adding to your longs on the Kijun bounce. So we had patterns in here. We had a rising wedge. We had an ascending triangle. This broke up. This broke up. This was an A, B, C, D here. Bearish edge to edge. Now we've got this W thing. So again, I'm just waiting for this long entry. It looks just like this. Price is above cloud. Bullish ticket cross, bullish cloud. And then, you just go long. Just like here, Did anyone in their right mind think at 5,300 or whatever that we'd go to 9,000 in like 20 days? I mean, there certainly were people. I don't think I was one of them. But the cloud helps you just remove any subjectivity from this and just say, okay, if it's bullish, I'm going to go long. It might go down 10 grand the next candle, but if you're listening to the cloud, at least you can say, I'm doing it with sort of objective things in mind, a checklist or whatever. Take a step back, take yourself out of the equation. ETH a lot more simple to me. I think 300's the next zone. I think it certainly has a bullish bias, and then 350 to 400 based on the previous support turn resistance, resistance turn support, blah, blah, blah. Those are the zones to watch, certainly. Do I want a long here? Probably not. I'd probably wait personally until it's above 270 at least. If this is some sort of bullish consolidation, this should break up. Again, find resistance around 300. Lastly, Xrp Usd. Again, I'm not proud of this. I haven't really traded XRP since probably 2017. But, it's kind of done nothing for a year. Just ranged in this zone. Again, the trend shows bullish 5200 cross, bullish cloud for the first time in a year. It looks good to go to me. So again, if I'm listening to the cloud like I am on the 4 hour, we have that on the daily Xrp Usd chart. And as far as the targets, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. The cloud will tell me when to get out. But if I'm just looking at horizontals, it's going to be around 50, 60 cents, around 92 cents. $1, obviously, you know, I hesitate to even say that because there's going to be some article that says, you know, I said it's going to go to $1. It's not what I'm saying here. I'm just saying these are the targets I'm looking for if it does have a bullish trend, if it does get bullish momentum, and if Bitcoin stalls at 8,000, which I don't think it necessarily will, but if it does, 20,000 sats has generally been the Xrp BTC maximum tolerance of the market. So with the math worked out, that'd be 160, 130 yearly pivot. So, you know, if it gets above 60 cents, great, but I don't think it'll happen anytime soon. The other thing about XRP is it tends to do nothing for a year and then pump on the BTC pair for like 6 days and then die for another year. So it is time, as Rafiki would say. So that's why it's a good time to trade XRP. All right, that's all I have for this one. Like, dislike, comment, share, subscribe. Hit me up on Twitter, and happy trading.